I showed up to work every day for 5 years. I was a high performer on every annual review. I was the one who stayed until 8 p.m. when the servers went down. I never complained. My reviews always said things like valued team member and exceeds expectations. And then one Tuesday morning, I was called into a small room with no windows. My manager was there. HR was there. And there was a document on the table that described me as a consistent underperformer with a long history of issues. I looked at the header. Performance log, Sky. It started 6 months ago. Every quick chat we had was documented as a verbal warning I didn't know I was receiving. I didn't even know the document existed, but it had been building for months, quietly, without me knowing, while I kept showing up and doing my job. If you have ever been let go and thought, where did that come from? This video is going to explain exactly where it came from. Because HR does not decide to fire someone on a Tuesday. The decision happens long before that. And by the time you are sitting in that room, the paperwork is already done. My name is Sky, and I talk about the things your job will never tell you. Subscribe right now and hit the bell. Let's get into it. Here is something most people do not know about how companies fire people. They cannot just walk up to you and say, "You are done." Not in most cases, not without serious legal risk. So instead, they build something, a record, a timeline, a file that tells a story about you, and that story almost always ends the same way. It is called a paper trail, and it is not something that starts the day they decide to let you go. It starts weeks before that, sometimes months, sometimes the moment a decision is quietly made in a room you were never invited into. The paper trail is a company's legal armor. It is how they prove, if you ever challenge them, that the firing was about your performance and not about anything illegal, not about your age, not about that complaint you filed, not about the raise you asked for that made your manager uncomfortable. The paperwork makes it look clean, and most employees never see it coming. Let me tell you my story. My name is Sky. I'm 32 years old. I had been at the same company for 5 years. I was good at what I did. My last 3 annual reviews were positive. I even got a bonus 2 years ago. I had never been written up for a single thing, but 6 months ago, something changed. My new manager started CCing HR on emails about small things. A missed deadline by 1 day, a report that had a minor error, things that were handled informally before, with a quick conversation, suddenly started appearing in writing. Then I was called in for what they described as a check-in. It felt casual. My manager asked how things were going. He asked if I felt supported. He asked if I had any concerns about my workload. I was honest. I said I had been stretched thin. I said the new software system had slowed me down. I said I was working through it. My manager nodded. He said all the right things. The meeting lasted 20 minutes. I did not know that everything I said was being documented, that the check-in was actually step 2 of a formal process that had already begun without my knowledge. 4 months later, I was handed a performance improvement plan. What I didn't realize then was that they weren't checking in. They were building a file. Here are 7 signs that HR is already building a paper trail on you. I'm going to tell you what each one actually means, because on the surface, none of them look like what they really are. Number 1. Suddenly, everything is in writing. For years, feedback happened in the hallway. Now every small thing comes through email. My manager started documenting minor errors that used to be a simple fix. That isn't a coincidence. It's a date stamp. Number 2. Your past reviews no longer seem to matter. I had the documents. I kept them. But suddenly, I was a long-standing concern. If your history is being quietly rewritten, the narrative has already shifted. Number 3, you got a PIP out of nowhere. A performance improvement plan is frequently the final step. If the intense criticism feels like it came from nowhere, the decision to let you go may already have been made. Number 4, they are enforcing rules they never enforced before. Suddenly, my lunch break duration was a formal issue. When they enforce dormant policies only against you, they are creating documentation. Number 5, micromanagement of things they never cared about. My manager started hovering and asking for constant updates on work I'd done successfully for years. This creates opportunities for every small delay to be logged as material. Number 6. Exclusion from things you used to be part of. I stopped being included in email threads and meetings I used to lead. If you aren't in the room, you can be labeled as disengaged. Number 7. Something happened right before all of this started. Think back. Did you ask for a raise? Take medical leave? Retaliation is common, but companies bury the original reason under a stack of performance concerns. What you must do now is, every single one of these is designed to look like normal management. It's built to be defensible. It wasn't my fault that I didn't see it. Nobody warns you that a friendly check-in can be used as evidence against you. So what do you actually do if you think this is happening? Do these 3 things now. Start your own paper trail. Save every positive review and praise email. Screenshot messages. Forward them to a personal account before you lose access. Respond to everything in writing. If you get a write-up, don't just sign it. Write, "I disagree with this characterization," and send a follow-up email with your version of events to HR and yourself. Talk to an attorney before you think you need one. The time to protect yourself is while you are still inside the building, not after you've lost access to your evidence. I didn't do any of those things. I thought my 5 years and my good reviews would protect me. I thought the relationships I built meant something. They didn't. By the time I saw that PIP, the story had already been written. I was just the last one to read it. The opposite of what happened to me isn't paranoia. It's just paying attention. Most people don't lose their jobs because they stopped being good. They lose them because something shifted behind a closed door. Now you know what to look for. Drop a comment and tell me, have you ever felt that shift before? I read every comment, and your story might help someone else recognize their own situation before it's too late. Subscribe to stay ahead of the game.